This agenda is a Vim Analytics report, a little bit of a flow basis, 1 or 2 slides, overview of what related, and we are going through the background jobs. Okay. So coming to reporting, so Vim product has a big chunk of reporting which comes. If utilized properly, you can actually increase your throughput or increase the lead time of the, reduce the lead time of the posting of invoices. So there is lots of information on these reports, and somebody has to really look into these reports, and the reporting has not been completely utilized by a lot of the customers. Okay. Now, what kind of reporting helps here? So what are the general questions anybody will have in reporting? So these are all some kind of generic questions we see across. What type of processing problems do we see? What is the most problematic vendor? How long does it take to approve an invoice? Has the cycle time improved over the last year? What are the process bottlenecks? Who is involved internally in resolving these problems? What is the status of a particular invoice? So these are the kind of questions we have, and our Vim Analytics and other central reporting both will try to answer these questions accordingly. Okay. And Vim Analytics report, so everyone would have already utilized, and we have these kind of views, or we can see the information through the standard Vim Analytics report. You have the process view, image view. You can even look at the line items, history, and cover section in the Vim Analytics report. So pretty much all the details you need are generally available in the VA2 report. Okay. So this is the standard selection screen. Vim Analytics report has a very detailed view of all supplier invoices in all their statuses. That's a basic Vim Analytics report, and you can have so many fields, around 50 fields are there, or 30 to 35 fields, I think so. For all your slicing and dicing of the data can be done through this reporting. Okay, and the very advantage of this report is it even synchronizes with the other posting of the different SAP objects. Like if the invoice is posted outside the Vim, you can even create a DP number. There is a small enhancement you have to do, and I mean that is also available in the configuration document or reference document. The code is provided. You just need to go and attach that into a user exit. Once you do that, even if a invoice is posted outside the Vim solution, then it will get created DP. So such kind of DPs are also reported in your Vim Analytics report. Along with that, there are some other things which will automatically synchronize. The clearing document has been generated, whether it has been posted. So all those synchronizations also happen through the analytics report. So nothing specific we have. And transaction is for /opt/Vim_VA2. Okay. So this is the standard selection screen of the Vim Analytics report. And you have multiple standard SAP features available even in the Vim Analytics. You have the report options for selecting the layout, maximum number of records, reporting currency, and the translation date for that reporting currency, and how and what currency you want to show the. And this is the standard output of the report. On the left-hand side, you will be seeing the ALV of all the header level invoices in detail. On the right-hand side, you will have a detailed view. Whenever you click on a particular line item, the detailed view of will be shown on the right-hand side. You will be multiple tabs will be there, like processes, where it will show all the detailed process. Image, you can see line items, you can see history and comments. So comments from both the sections of approval comments as well as collaborative comments like DP level comments are also shown on this report analysis. Okay, it's just the left-hand side view. So what are all the things you will be seeing? You can see document ID, the company code, vendor, it's posted, Myra invoice number, FI document number, then the current status, who is the current Vim role and who is the current agent, and all those details. Pretty much all the details will be shown on the result view. Okay. This is a detailed pane section. We are very much familiar with this process. So here also it will show multiple tabs on the detail pane, and each plugin will have different functionalities according to the button. This log will be shown, or a detailed section will be shown according to the plugin. So generally, what are the new enhancements in this VA2 report? Or basically the enhancement points are provided. You can add custom fields on the selection screen or to enhance the output of the custom fields. And there is a configuration for the discount light icon. If you want the discounts to be configured, then you can configure those discount lights play around. Like assume that if some vendors are available where they will provide vendors, assume that the payment terms are 30 days by default, but some vendors, if you configure like if you pay like 20 days before, they make you 5% additional discount because they will get the additional cash flow accordingly. So that level of configuration even you can do in the the analytics report, and that based on the payment terms and dates, it will automatically show the traffic lights in the colors you want. Like if it is green, then it is still in the discounted area. If it is yellow, then you are very near to the discounted area. And if it is red, then the discounted area is completed. So such kind of behaviors you can control through the configuration, and that will be shown directly in the analytics. Okay. So this is a specific section which is coming in VA2 report. I think I have shown this section in the last one of the sessions where how to enable the HANA views. If you see here, this is the specific HANA views. If you by default in all the neighbor versions you get it as the tick mark. If it is not there, then it is not going to utilize the CDS views, but it is going to use the regular select queries. But then all the neighbor versions, it is all the CDS views that everything. And you have the detailed sections like you can manage the logo, you can replace it with your customer logo, and there are some classes here. And each class will be utilized for different purposes for enhancement processes. Okay. So one is application class, factory class, and this is all technical. Okay, and how the data should be controlled, and if the particular set of users will have different functionalities, all these things will be enhanced to this particular section of the analytics report. So that is about the analytics report. So let's go and try to run those report once. So this is the analytics report. This analytics report is spread into multiple boxes, and each box it will be trying to target the filters for a particular section of the invoice data. The first section of more is of invoice related data, header data, and all those things like document date, document currency, requisitioner, and event. Event is basically whether it's a invoice or whatever it is. And the second section is about the vendor and purchasing data. It's a supplier, the reference number, PO number, PO group, and client. So it will be filtered based on these things. And the third section would be primarily on the process data, your DP number, DP type, company code, invoice document number, accounting document numbers. This is used for the already posted document numbers or corporate document numbers. But so fiscal year, country, region, IDOC number, tax code, signature, validation status. I'm not sure what it is. Root ID 1 or 2 or 3. I never used this once. VIM process, whether invoices about process type, invoices with DP process, part to block invoices, then invoice whether you want a PO based or NPO based. And if any specific scenario you want all open invoices or completed invoices or in process, part from posted are available. And you can also go with the rejected approval status. These are all pre-configured process statuses, and it will be filtered accordingly. And you can even go with the selected statuses. This, I think there were some questions last session. So these are all process level status, and these come some pre-configured status. So there's not much we can do around here, but these are all available. And the priority we talked about, generally there is nothing functionality you can have to enhance the solution for document priority. Invoice category is basically whether it's a country, there is one invoice category section. This is also a custom solution you have to build around it if you want to segregate a document against the invoice category. So nothing comes by default. So you have to enhance, and then you can use it for filtering. And then SAP document type is SAKR or what kind of document you are running. And then next section is the accounting data. You will have a lot of other cost related data specifically important for in Vivo for filtering net Vivo invoices posted by GL account, cost center, profit center, internal order, WBS, and there are a lot of other fields related to other functionalities as well, so like earmark funds, sales orders, such kind of things. And due dates, yes, if you configure due date section, then this will be can be utilized. Due date by default will be coming, and days to due will be also helping. Like you can filter all the invoices where the payment will happen in the next 10 days you want to do, then you can utilize this. And overdue section is also days. And if you enable the cash discounting functionality, then these functionalities can be utilized. And this new section is for the technical details. Like if you know the workflow ID, who is the current agent, what is the current role. So such kind of filters can be utilized here on the work item data. The next section is the more on the dates, like when the invoice date has come in, when is the posting date, processing in dates, payment dates, kind of. There are a lot of other functionalities. So if you can explore everything, that is there. And the next one is the process flow based on reasons or reversal document, that kind of additional functionalities are here. And the last one is the reporting section, which we talked about. And if you expand here, then it will expand once. Once you execute, you'll be able to see all the fields. Pretty much there are in the layout, there are quite a number of fields here to play around. And once you know, you just create your own variant and then utilize that. So pretty much you will see the exception reason, what is the type of invoices, who is the current agent, who is the current VIM role it is assigned to. All this kind of information is pretty much available on this. And the detail section, which we talked about, the process for each document, the image, line item data, history, and comments. In the history, you will have two sections. Sorry, approval history as well as process history. Comments also, you will have DP comments and the approval comments as well. And if you DP number, and some are hotspot enabled, the DP number, accounting document number, and the exception result. If you click DP number, it will just open the same detailed view of the DP number, how you look in the workflow in the VIM workplace. Okay. So any questions on the analytics report? So I generally have a lot of questions on the analytics report if it is a new team, but as you guys are already familiar with this thing, so there's not much. I'm not going into the detail unless you have any specific questions. I can try answering them. So the next one is notifications report. This is a reminder report which will be utilized to send the reminders that they are not taking any action. That you can utilize this report, which can run in the background job for every day once, so that they can receive the email IDs. So generally we put save it as a blank so that it will be applicable for all scenarios, and all the reminders will go to the respective users. And the next one is liability report. Liability report is the information, what kind of information you see, basically how much I'm liable for a particular vendor. We want to know that they are not yet posted in the system. Generally, without VIM, identifying such kind of information is nearly impossible, because we don't know how many invoices are there in the organization with the different teams or different people. With VIM coming in, you can easily say that you can easily gather that information. Okay, so if you run this report, this has a very simple selection screen where you will have the company code and vendor posting dates and the item information. Once you execute this, then you will have this output where you will be able to see the information based on company code and vendor combination, and the total number of documents are available for this vendor, and how much amount is there due to be paid for that particular vendor as well. So let me run that report. There may not be much data here. The main code is mandatory. Okay, so So there is not much data in the system. These are we will see. So the company code and supplier are not utilized, and these are the number of documents and total amount and everything will be displayed. So, and here you have different views, whether you want to look at the vendor combination or you want to look at the DP number combination, the data, or line item view or DP line view or something like that. So all these kind of views, pre-configured views come here, and then you can easily get a better control on the data you want to see. Okay. So it's just a company view. Okay. There are 35 documents and this amount is not coming. So there has to be something to be done on the back end. Okay. So as we are just talking about the reports, I think the slide shot will have better data presentation. Okay. So you can see there, and if you can navigate, then the data presentation will change according to the grouping on the top of that. Okay. And there is one license report. This is used for the licensing count. The VIM licensing is based on number of TTs created in the SAP system. So this report will help how the licensing cost to be enabled for each customer. So that is specially utilized by the licensing team or the team who is discussing, not specific to users. And coming to the central reporting. So central reporting is a special set. So central reporting doesn't work on the live data in the system. It will work on the aggregated data. So the reporting here may not be exactly the same on the live data. It will be based on how you are running your batch jobs of the central reporting. So central reporting will have multiple data. So these data is one level additional on the aggregated data. So we'll see how detailed they will give in the system. The first one is called aging report. Aging report basically gives you the information on how the DP document numbers have been aged. Like this will be really helpful for the senior folks in the organization, where they will be able to understand why a lot of invoices are not paid or what are the invoices pending. Can be multiple reasons and multiple seasons. So there is a lot of reporting available around this. Okay, we go this when we run this aging report, and this is the output it looks like. Let me run the aging report. Okay, so the section or selection screen is pretty simple for the aging report. So you want to see, and the very important for the aging report is this buckets feature. Okay, so when I execute this, so as the central reporting is not enabled in this demo system, how to enable that. So the important thing is this buckets. The feature is very good feature, and you want when executed. Once executed, this is how it looks like. So the buckets is a very configurable feature, and the DP numbers are aggregated like this. So you by default you will be seeing 0 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, 61 to 90 days, and more than 90 days. The values you maintained on the bucket, it will change. So if you change the bucket, like you want to know the documents which are not posted in the system and have been in the 20 days and 50 days and 90 days section, and execute, this buckets will automatically get updated in the output of your report. So 0 to 10 days, 10 to 50, 50, and 50 to 90 days and above 90 days. So this is a very important good feature if the customers utilize. Okay, and you will be able to see by two sections. One is by document type or the VIM role as well. So in the VIM role also it will help to, by VIM role it will help because they will know why it is with the current team, and you will be able to understand why those many documents are their particular VIM role, and probably you can go and try to understand the problem statements of that particular VIM role team, and try to either because of multiple reasons they are putting it on hold, or it can be because of the workload. If it is a workload, you can ask them to assign a new resource of something like that. So outcome is there, and how you are going to take action is based on the need at that point of time. Now, once you come here, you can also change group by this field. Will just change it to DP view or role view as well. Okay. The next one is the exception analysis report. So let me run the exception analysis report to show the selection screen here. It is also very simple that, but the important is the comparison feature here. You can have just run based on the company code, channel, and all these things, and you can also select whether you want the PO and PO invoice types, and you will see the comparison. I will just talk about this, and you have the view as well, whether you want to see the exception view or vendor view or company code view. Okay. Once we execute this report, it will should look like this in the output, and this is where we will talk about in the exception. You will see the exception name. For this exception, currently there are four DP document numbers are there, and the value is here, and the average time to resolve this exception is shown here, and the average wait time. Okay, so basically wait time is once an exception is assigned to a team of 3 people, say a big team, you, me, and someone else are part of the team, and then none of the 3 of us will touch. Probably it will take 6 hours. Once assigned, it may take 7 or 8 hours to open it. So then that is called average wait time to do the first open of the DP number. That is called average wait time, and average time is basically the time to resolve that exception. So this is how the detailed vendor reporting is going to give you that, and you can see the list of all the exceptions, and this will help the senior leadership to look at and try to address why those particular exception is taking longer time and how they can improve. There can be multiple requests. So approval required generally, maybe see here the average wait time is 4 days, but average time is 12 hours. This is wrong number, but it should generally this should be higher. The screenshot is wrong. These are probably taken from some demo system or something like that. And so they can go, hey, approvals are taking longer time. Is that okay in the organization, or should we try to streamline or make the number of approvals less or something like that? So such kind of decisions can be taken over a period of time once the central reporting. So whenever I implement any VIM solution, I always recommend them to go and review all these reports every 6 months once, so that they will get a better view on those things. Okay, and they can also go say invalid vendor, and this is also one kind of thing where what they can do is basically invalid vendor is getting done. Now they can also do more analysis why invalid vendor is coming, and if you go with the grouping of vendor, you may figure out that one specific set of vendor is not able to getting recognized in your system. It can be because the vendor master data may be wrong in your system, and that's the reason it's not getting recognized, and every time the validator is selecting the vendor. Now the follow-up action for that is basically you correct your master data, because the data from on the face of the invoice is different on the master data. That's why it's not recognized. And there may be different reasons, and you can try correcting the data, and over a period of time, your lead time on that particular exception will go down. So that's how you need to take respective action by looking at this report. Data is presented, and the decision and how you are going to improve will be based on the how the business user is going to utilize this data. And the next one is audit report. This is specifically utilized in the multi-backend scenario, not for a regular one system. This will be utilized on to extract the information from multiple systems and see how the documents from each system and how the satellite and how the central system are getting implemented, and the timelines and the statuses and all those will be shown in the central audit. Okay. And the next one is the productivity report. Productivity report, let me run that in the exception analysis report only. The comparison, explain that. In this screenshot, only half is taken. Let me pick up some other thing. Okay, so you see here, there are two things. One is period from and comparison period. Okay, there will be two sections like total amount, average time, and also you have a different section for the comparison period. So,
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
it will, whatever the time frames you have given here, it will pull up the same information for the previous period as well, so that you can compare. Like every year, if you run this report, then you can compare with the previous report and previous report. When you compare those two things for this exception, the same example of invalid vendor. Now the average time is 5 days now. In the previous section. Now, if you have taken any action at that particular vendor, and because of that, your average time will get reduced. So, like this, you can compare why this year the average time is increasing and reducing. Or if it is reducing, that's a good sign. If it is increasing, then it's a kind of thing where they have to take the respective action or have to see what they have to do. So that's how the comparison period will be helpful. Period from to and the comparison period from to. That will be available on the selection screen. Yes. So you can just give previous year and the current date and time range. Like I can give 01/01 2024 till today's date I can give, and then the previous year. So when I run this report, the from period on the screen, here it will be 01/01 2024 to current date, and the comparison will be 01/01 2023 to December 31st, 2023. That's how the comparison can be done. So this kind of comparison is available on all the central reporting, and it will be useful in improving their overall experience. We talk about the exception analysis, central reporting, and productivity report. So productivity report also works on the same lines, which you'll be able to see the productivity. You have the data range comparison, you have the system related company code, and you also have the agent and role. So here you will know a particular role, how much time they are taking to resolve the issues. And you can even go to the level of agent. These are the agents, and this year they are taking this much. VIM role is basically AP team, how much time they are taking time to resolve an exception or the DP document number. Okay, say the processing time last year has been like 2 days average time, and then the current year, when you can compare, it can be reduced to 1 day or 20 hours or something like that. So that's kind of good comparison. They can understand and everything, and like this comparison. And also you can go to the level of agent or role. So APT may have 3 users, and one user is doing very good, and the other 2 users times are at large. It can be multiple reasons, because the way they are picking up the DP documents, the guy with the good average time is probably picking up the easy ones, and the other ones are working on the hard ones. So such kind of situations will be there. Or you can try to reload or rebalance the work to that particular team, or probably assign a new user or move this particular user to a different VIM role, or manage the kind of invoices. So that particular guy only may be dealing with the purchase order based invoices, where the lead time will be less, but the other guys may be working on the NPO invoices, where that will be taken. So such kind of analysis you can do here, and probably try to explore the outcomes and what you can do and improve the overall times of each user or at the VIM role as well. Okay, so that's how the productivity report will be helpful. And we talked about aging summary report. So summary report is a detailed view of each DP number. I don't have a screenshot here, but summary, it provides, it's more like an analytics report, but little more detailed, you can say, with the date and timestamps and everything will be shown here. Okay, so that's how the summary report works. And next, we talked about audit report, exceptional, KPA report. So KPA report is this one is also we need to configure. There will be 6 sections here. I think I have a screenshot there in the KPA report. So this KPA report is also more for the leadership. It gives a glimpse of how the VIM, the overall VIM solution is working, and each box will give you different insight for the leadership to understand how the VIM is working. So the first one is total liability report. They can just give the liability, the invoice documents in the system which are not yet posted. So in that section, based on the category, it will be like corporate documents, pre-processed documents, and blocked documents. The amount will be shown here. Okay, and channel-wise analysis, like you can see how many documents coming per channel, which channel is coming, and how many POs and how many non-POs per each channel. And this just gives irrespective of the status, or this just on the glimpse of the time period. So if you go on the KPA, this is the date range you are running. If you don't give any date range, it will give you for everything. Okay, and so with this, you can try to understand which channel the organization, and like this, you want to digitalize. Now you can think of if the scanning is also coming, then you can think of digitalization and asking your vendor to start utilizing the other channels where is better in the long term kind of thing. Okay, and you can also see email input, ED, doc, all those things. Okay, and this one just gives you the split of PO based and non-PO based invoices or unclassified invoices, how many processed or how many in process kind of view. And this is another important parameter which may be applicable for some organizations, and depending on how they are doing. This is called as first pass. First pass is basically the invoices coming in without any exceptions. They are going into the posting mode. Okay, I mean, it can go into the approvals. That's not considered. Approval is not considered as first pass. It's not considered in the first pass, and rest of the DP process types will be considered. Whether any exception is raised, then it will not be considered as first pass. But if all the exceptions are automatically cleared through the OCR reading data and there is not much done, then that is called as first pass. And then this will give you against how many PO invoices there are, and how many went through the first pass, and how many NPO. Among 746 documents, 17 went through the first pass, and rest of the things either got into some exceptions and somebody had to take an action. So this, if you enable auto posting also, it will just go through everything and then post it into the system. So that's how this parameter will help, and then you can try putting a KPI for the team. Hey, I want the first pass to be improved from the current percentage is 7%. So now I want to for the next year the first pass should be 15%. So you can think of you have to come up with all the kind of improvements they have to do. Basically now to improve that, you need to understand the exception analysis report. Now why the exceptions are getting created and how you can reduce the exception. So that's how you can come up with continuous improvement activities, and then probably you can try to improve the overall solution. And the next one is top 5 exception by count. So this is basically your exception analysis view glimpse of it. So the top 5, it just goes and how many DP documents are there, and how many what is the exception ID and the exception text. Okay, and this one in the last session is top 5 vendors by amount. Who are the top 5 vendors you are paying? It just gives a glimpse of that, and what is the total amount and the vendor detail number as well. Okay, so this is about the reporting section we had.
Can you go back to the previous slide? I have a query that I see on the top the channel analysis, and the channel ID for the first row is empty.
Yes.
So what may be the cost for that case? Why is it empty?
So if there are any DPs directly created or the posted outside the VIM, all those will come under the empty channel. If you
Posted out of the VIM, meaning MIRO?
Yes, if you posted outside the VIM, MIRO, and there is a feature where if you do a minor enhancement, it will create a DP document after posting the MIRO. outside the bin for reference.
Okay.
So it just creates a DP document with the posted status whenever you post outside the bin. So why they are doing it? Doing that is basically all your AP related reporting, they want to do it through the VIM instead of going back to any SAP standard. Okay, so such kind of things will come through this kind of blank channel IDs, something like that. There can be scenarios where you are not utilizing BC and directly posting in the VIM solution. We have done such kind of integrations as well. There are some, say, your organization or customer has a portal where they are being posting invoices or something like that. Then we may not utilize BC. You don't want to utilize OCR and all those things. You can just directly create a VIM DP and then start the process. So such kind of things and all, channel ID may not be there.
Which means this is non-OCR, right?
Non-OCR also you can do BC without those steps like Ariba and all those things. But you are completely avoiding BC for whatever is the technical reason. So the example I did was the customer had a portal where they were submitting, some vendors were submitting invoices. And this is one of the government organizations. They had a portal where their employees or retired employees were posting all the medical bills. They were supporting the medical bills. Okay, so all such kind of invoices, we directly used to create the VIM document and without any channel. So such kind of things we used to do. Because the medical bill, they just submit the amount and the medical bill attached. There is no OCR has to be done on the top of that, the medical bill. When the medical bill comes, it is kind of an NPO posting they do in that particular organization. And it used to route to a specific team. Because DP type we can determine through the technically, right? We directly used to create a separate part and all things they used to manage. A lot of things manually, it's only more of the tracking purpose they used to do through the VIM solution. So such kind of scenarios you don't have channel ID, or you can create a channel ID and you can also assign a channel ID. So such kind of features are over. When you do technically integration, that kind of things come. But when you go through BC, you always have a channel. Okay.
Okay, so whenever an invoice is being sent to any OCR engine, then we'll see these channel IDs. Otherwise, if we are posting manually without using OCR, then the channel ID is not required.
Yes. Yeah.
Is my understanding correct?
Yes, kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So these are some basic workflow settings where I just give. So workflow basic, these are all support activities I just added here. What's a workflow instance? What's a work item? What are the agents? What is the container and what's the binding? So these kind of things I try to just show you here in the debugging kind of scenario. If I go to VIM Analytics report. So workflow number is different from workflow instance ID. Display workflow log. So this is the document number. This is the workflow instance or the workflow item ID. So there will be a workflow number different from workflow ID. It's more like a workflow ID is your design-based number, and item is basically the runtime for each DP number. It will get generated. You can go here, then you will be seeing the agent and everything. So this is your overall workflow, how it looks like, and each step will have a different number. And this whole workflow will have one number, and the instance for this particular DP number, the workflow number will be different. So such kind of things will be there here. And so this is your work item ID, or this is the task ID. The task ID is the single step of that task ID. I'm not trying to get into too much technicality as you're majorly functional guys. So
yeah, we would like to explore a bit more into workflow, like how do we reprocess, how we can technically assign this to someone.
See, basically everything is controlled through SWIM.
Okay. So if we want to reprocess and failure work ID, which means let's say I haven't maintained some user in Kova, and then workflow may restart once the job is run, right? So before that, I want to reprocess the failure workflow ID. How do I do?
Okay, so your question is basically what item is there and the user is not there, and how to reprocess that particular user, right?
Yeah. So first it went to error in workflow log, workflow item, because the user is not maintained, and then I maintained the user, and post coming and checking here, it is still in workflow error.
It will be there because you have assigned the user after it got into error.
Yes. So then how do I reprocess it? Then how does this workflow starts? So do we need to schedule some background jobs to run?
You have to manually go and reassign that particular workflow item again. Okay, so there one is assigning the agent through here, where you will be able to just go and assign the agent.
But it is not coming for our workflow item. I tried for this forwarding the workflow, but it is not happening. For this work item, you can't assign.
What is the error you are getting? You are getting that you are not allowed to assign.
No, not that, not like that. This work item cannot be forwarded.
Okay.
So I created a new one. I tried to forward from here. This is the regular way of doing it. I did it. But then you showed me technically how to forward it or how to execute it. Yeah, right from here.
Here, generally,
not from there we can't.
Depending on what stage that particular work item is, you will get these buttons will keep changing. Okay, tables for central reporting. The data will be part of these tables, aggregated data and all this. The KPI tables are these things. You need to start exploring that particular data. These are the table names. Okay.
Okay, unless we debug for a specific condition, how it is being calculated. So debugging is the best method to understand, right?
Yeah, even if you go to OpenText or SAP, they just say this is the product I provided. You use it why you want. Nobody is going to answer. It's the same across any other product, right? Like even if you pick up any finance module and then say you can't go to SAP and say you tell me how this is working on the same lines. Even I never debug these things. I never got. The only thing I do is basically if I think there was one requirement, I started doing it and it was scrapped because it's too much of effort to dig into this. This is the aggregate function on how the aggregation happens and all those things. If I open this in a CAT, these are function modules. These are all the function modules. If you want these functionalities inside it, you can enhance. But first, you need to understand how these reports work. That will take some time by a technical guide to just figure out how this works. This is the selection screen or something like that. So for now, not many people even doesn't know that we can even enhance these things. But you can just go through Vim Analytics and then you have to play around with these things. So whatever the reports, probably you just provide, I mean, if they are looking specifically like any requirement that they want that date and timestamps kind of data, then central reporting data. Otherwise, you just leave the data available in one head and one item tables. That should be pretty much enough for them to do any reporting, right? I mean, what kind of reporting they're exactly looking for.
Yeah, we need to share the knowledge, technical knowledge to them, like what field they need to consider. Let's say the workflow ID is started on 11th, so it is closed on 28th. So it took 10 days. So we need to explain them technically in a way to design the reports for 10 days or 20 days to segregate the TPs. So how many TPs have been posted? Lifespan of 10 days, 20 days, 30 days. So they need technical details to build the reports. Yeah, so likewise, we do have SAP support portal, like the the blocks to understand their knowledge. Like they post some issues, and then someone will provide some solution under the support portal or support block. So do we have same for OpenText? So if I want to explore the knowledge of OpenText, so where do I get?
So, I mean, it's same SAP portal, there should be generally for VIM, there should be a separate section, and there are not many people in the market for VIM. That's a problem. To actually answer or provide detailed explanation for anything. There is a scarcity of that to anyone even answer anything on the VIM. And pretty much these documents, if you go through, that itself will give you a lot of knowledge. But technical wise, no, you may not. You need to have a guy who can really worked on OpenText products and debugged a lot to really answer that. So you want to look at how the workflows will work from your system. Before we start that, probably I'll complete. There is just one more slide for the background jobs which I have created, and these are the tips for installation, basically for basic guys. So 4 or 5 steps: configuration, post installation steps, installation sequence. The components has to be sequentially installed based on the EHP packages and all those things. Selecting the right product would be there is something called compatibility matrix that will be available from the OpenText portal or even from the SAP. Then they will recommend when they buy, the customer buys, then they'll recommend based on what SAP version they are on. So that will be replaced. And post installation steps will be there in the installation guide as well as the admin guide. The basis has to go through those 2 documents to really install that. They are new. Okay. And these are all the general backup batch jobs. I didn't include any batch jobs related to central reporting, but these are all the regular batch jobs which we utilize for BC and VIM. The first one is the vendor data to staging table. This is day one, you do the full load, and later on you can do like a daily job or weekly job to increasing the vendor master data to BC tables. And this is PO staging tables. This is a full load on the day one and a daily load on the day 2, because purchase order keeps changing every day. And this is also a daily job, PIDF cleanup. This clean up the logs generated with the business center involved. So these can be done either daily or weekly. That is also fine. And the next one is IDF trigger. This is the very important for the BC framework. Either you run every minute or 3 minutes like that. So this is where all the one step by step it goes through. All those things are there, right? That is taken care by this stops by this program. Okay? And this is a log cleanup. I mean, whenever the user open any documents and they mistakenly lock the items, the locking kind of scenarios and timeouts and all those things, even because of the fury and all of those things will happen. And this particular program will clean up. You can put up like every daily once to clean up all those logs if anything happens or missed out due to the standard processes. Okay. And this is also more of a cleanup program because VIM is an event-based solution. There can be a lot of events. Sometimes the linkages will break and all those things. Such kind of abandoned or orphaned work items and all those things will be cleaned up by this particular program. Okay? And this is a reminder email which you generally do that. And this one is one. And this is the IDF cleanup. This is for PC specific cleanup of the logs generated by that unnecessary logs. Anything it will be, then it will clean up. This can be also scheduled every weekly once or something like that. So these are the primary important tables which we utilize. I think I forgot. Did I forget anything? These are the important batch jobs which we generally schedule. And if you've seen other document, right, just go through that. There are all the batch jobs in that configuration guide. there are a lot more, if whatever, the rest is more on the selective basis. If you need, you can schedule that.
So what is this tagging tables, Shivam?
Which one? Tagging tables.
Yeah. So I just see that there is a job to fetch the vendor details into tagging table.
Staging, sorry.
Yeah.
Staging tables are nothing but BC specific tables where the data is stored. Instead of hitting the master data directly by your BC framework.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
It will be downloading the data into this table, and then they utilize this table for matching your IES, and that they process is there, right, to identification of your vendor and company code. That will be taken care by this program. So this will be vendor and company code and data, and you generally put all bank account information as well. Whether you want vendor with deletion flag and question black as well, and all the company you want to resync the company code data or not. So both company code and vendor data is done through this single program. The table name for that which will get updated in the staging tables. There is no data, but probably you can check. This is where BC framework tries to get the information. So vendor master is a huge table, right? This is a subset of that table where it will have the relevant information for identification of the company. So on the same lines, you will have one is for purchase orders and one is for PO line items. This is the same data on how to a purchase order number comes on the face of the invoice, and if adds to verify in this program, and this is for specifically for the BC only, okay, whether it's a valid PO number or not. But in the actual VIM solution, when it comes to for the exception, that will hit the actual SAP tables. This is only for BC framework staging tables.
So as you told previously, so there are many tables have been run behind to sync these details, which means you told workflow. So some subtasks have been created, some details have been backgroundly executed. So to clean that, we are running the job, right? The same wise. So do we need to maintain any cleanup programs or jobs to delete the entries from these tagging tables or intermediate tables, the linkage between OCR and SAP?
No, these two are the important staging tables programs. You need to schedule for that. There is no specific cleanup required because this is always reloaded every time. So it's not like there is no delta section here. At least for the master data, I just ran with 30 entries, and it has updated all the 30 entries, supplier, company code, bank, account, and then the respective data and how the data identification happens. So if I go to other program, staging tables.
So can you open the last program, the cleanup program?
So this one will have data download because it's a purchase order data. For master data, you will not have a data download. Okay. You want to the last one, cleanup program. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. This was I was about to ask. Yeah, we got a request from basis team saying that the tables have been excluded from highest range of storage, and they want to delete these details. They want to clean up these details. Yeah, so if I want to exclude job only for take out the details of imaging tab, so I see there are other tabs as well. So XML log, we can delete that. So if I want to delete only specific for one application XML file, so can I do that? Because the rest will be in empty, no? So
Yeah.
You need to unselect the active button. That will.
Active button.
Yeah.
okay.
Create a variant for each tab separately or something like that. You can have one
Okay.
master kind of thing. And why do they want to delete? I don't think Vim will really generate any much data now. There won't be so much of data for them to delete. Or it's just a generic cleanup activity.
Yeah, generic cleanup activity only. So they mentioned that there is some MB size that they are keeping for each table. So if it exceeds, then they want to delete it. So.
Okay.
So if we clean these details, there is no issue, right?
History kind of thing may go away, like XML files, they may go away. And then if you want to pull up, then it all depends on your retention. So XML files, you should be careful. Application log, that's okay, you can delete. There is no harm after a 1 year kind of thing. Image table, you may still need it because the linkage and all those things will be there. Okay. Agent table, you may delete it because of 12-month-old agents, what are all there, it can be deleted. Okay. And IES sessions, you can delete it. You know how much this one will create lots of content. Okay. For every call, it will create one ID and all those things. We will be seeing this tables, right? When we run place. And if we go into that main, this request will be there, right? This is a huge table it will generate generally. You can delete these things. It all depends on how long you want to hold that data for. Pre-learning data, capture center, feedback. You can say that more than 36 months you can delete. There is no harm like after 3 years or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it from my end.